In the past year, we had many new games release which managed to reach the front page on Roblox, and one of them was a game called The Forge. It released pretty recently, and it quickly became one of the top games on the platform, even breaking the 1 million player count barrier pretty early on. But in just the 2 months it has been out for, it went from about 300 to 400,000 players on average, all the way down below 30,000, and still seem to be going further down. And this game not only became very popular very quickly, but it also was liked by many people. Many were starting to get tired of brain rot games, so a game like this appearing on the front page was almost like a breath of fresh air. There were also made many videos on this game when it came out, some having around 1 million views each. And with all of that, it almost feels weird to see this game have basically 10 times less players compared to what it had just a month ago. And one of the most obvious reasons are the updates. If you have been paying attention to this game lately, you definitely would have noticed how it haven't had many updates lately, with the last update not including quality of life, one being around 3 weeks ago as of when this video is out. And this game does need updates to keep people playing. You know how lately the simple games have been extremely popular, right? Grow a garden, steal a brain rot, etc. The Forge is not a hard-to-understand game which helped it become so popular. Your main task is to forge weapons and armor, and for that you need ore which you find in the caves by mining different rocks while defending yourself from mobs. And to make money, you just sell the gear you do not need. You earn XP for multiple different things, and by leveling up you mainly unlock new areas which continue the grind. And this is where one problem comes in. While playing as a new player won't get you bored since everything is new to you and progression is fast, second area is where it gets much more grindy. To unlock the next, currently last area, you need level 70. Getting there will take many hours, and because of that, the game just starts to feel repetitive. You just do the same stuff all the time, where you go and do mining for a while, then go back and forge, sell, and repeat. Since the progression becomes much slower, you're sort of stuck with the same stuff for a certain amount of time. Yes, there are quests and they do help, but they require you to do what you have been already doing. The reason I did not reach the final area is simply because it started to feel repetitive with all the mining mainly, since that takes the most amount of time. But I do have to mention, since the last time I played, they did add some sort of a mini-game, if you want to call it that, for the mining process. I do like this critical hit stuff because it's not about RNG, it's all on you and your aim. This is also why I like the forging. While the gear you get is based on your luck, which can be a little annoying, the process itself is all on you, and if you do good, the quality will be higher and stats will be better. And talking about RNG, this game has quite a lot of it. Most obvious one is ore mining. Every time you break a rock, you basically roll for random ore, and sometimes you may get lucky and get something good. As I also mentioned, forging has RNG in terms of which gear you get and which variant of it you get. But there is one thing that helps you a lot to progress while being fully behind RNG: the races. This game has races, and while the common ones give you slight boosts, it gets pretty OP with the rare ones. I have Demon Race, and when I got it, I can tell you, I felt the difference. It gives many buffs, and even an upgraded version of a normal dash. Comparing to even a legendary, you can see how big the difference is. And then you got Archangel, which is basically a combination of both angel and demon, and if you get it, the game becomes much easier for you compared to epic races, for example. If you were to use Robux, it would take 57,500 Robux on average to get Archangel. You can obviously get rerolls as a free-to-play player, and it will continue to expand with updates. But the main issue is how you just rely purely on luck as for how fast you will be able to progress, since races give a huge benefit. And on the topic of progression, it has some of its own issues, mainly for new players. In my case, the game started to feel repetitive, and therefore I did not have the motivation to actually reach final area. There were updates, but to those who aren't in the final area, it's almost like barely anything changed. And new players not being able to play with new content would become an even bigger problem once more areas are added. New content is also not being added that often, especially right now, and the game does not feel good because of that. But what I think could help both the new players to progress easier while also adding something for endgame players to do, while waiting for main updates, are small weekly or bi-weekly events. Imagine this. Between major updates, you'd have like 2 small events with limited currency, quests, and items. Every area in the game would be a part of the event. New players would be able to use the event as a way to progress faster, while endgame players could get limited items similar to what we had during the Christmas event. The thing is, the more areas and stuff is added to the game, the easier older content should become, so that new players can get to newer content faster instead of quitting in the mid-game because of progression becoming too slow. Basically, the game needs to be more welcoming to casual players. Hardcore grinding can be a part of the game for the loyal players, but it should not become a mandatory part you go through to progress. Otherwise, casual players will just quit. At least that is my take and idea on it. You can comment below what you think, and maybe even your own ideas on what could be better for the game. But in general, I think this game has good potential. At this point, it had around 40 million different people try it out. And as the owner of the Forge says, it's his dream game. As of right now, though, I feel like the main problems might be the grinding part feeling too repetitive, and also the RNG part. The game sort of feels like RNG game, but with extra steps due to so many things relying on RNG, and it seems people are not a big fan of that for obvious reasons. And as for grinding being repetitive, besides making it easier, there also needs to be something more to it. Otherwise, I doubt we'll see the game really get more players. But it does have some nice things too. Like, for example, I like the fact that ore can give boosts to your gear, or that you can upgrade your gear and give it extra boosts with runes. But obviously the quality stands out the most, like I got this pickaxe while making the video and it honestly looks really cool. Developers have teased a new update which will probably be out in the next 2 weeks if I had to guess. But the replies are not all positive. People don't want new content as much as changes to already existing content to make it more fun, which is also what I have mentioned earlier. And people may sound angry, but they are the ones who want the most to see this game grow bigger and brighter since they actually play it. Because the state of the game right now is not the best to say the least, because the player count nearly halved compared to last week. And if the developer team will actually listen to what players want is something that we'll need to wait for and see. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I plan to make a Q&A video once the channel reaches 25,000 subscribers. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one, they are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with the links in description, and I will see you soon.